The day I first met him, I believe I was about 8. He was standing there at the edge of the mountain, eyes closed, a slight smile on his face, drenched in the evening sun, clad in simple green and blue, dark hair falling over a high forehead, a mischievous dimple lurking in his chin. As I stumbled heedlessly, breaking into his meditative trance, he turned around slowly and gave me a quizzical glance. His eyes shone with a peculiar brilliance, holding knowledge and secrets like the stormy grey skies. Then a roguish smile appeared on his face, and he held out his hand. The world paused for a beat. He seemed to be holding his breath. I smiled back, and we shook hands. Time restarted. And from that moment, to him, my heart was lost. We met often thereafter, at many places and times. Sometimes on a walk along the sandy shore, sometimes high on a mountain at night. I found him sometimes tending a farm by the countryside, or sometimes daydreaming by the riverside. Never in the cities, though. He felt stifled, he said, in those jungles of cement and concrete. Many conversations he had, he and I, for his store of topics was endless. Many moods he had that changed like lightning, for his emotions were boundless. Over the years, I grew older, but he stayed the same. Tall, strong, with a kindly smile, and fiery eyes in that angelic face. He had a temper, to be sure. The oceans churned and the earth quaked when he flew into a rage. Thousands died and nations toppled. He left destruction in his wake. But then he would be overcome by remorse. As his anger faded, he would flinch every time he looked at the havoc and send aid to dig their graves. I don't like doing this, he would say, but you test my patience too far. Someday, if I erupt, it'll consume both our stars. He's been a constant in my life. Steadfast, true, reliable. To him, I've run when happy and sad, for in his warm embrace is the comfort of the world. Friend, confidant, lover, teacher, he has as many shades as a rainbow. From him, I've learned my best lessons. From him, I've learned my worst mistakes. He aged rapidly in those last few years. Stooping shoulders, graying hair, plagued by coughs and persistent fever. He couldn't stand the pollution, he said. Sickness didn't suit him, made him really short tempered. And then the storms blew, the earth shuddered, signaling that we are doomed. It was at twilight, I remember. He turned to me with a knowing look in his eyes. Take care of the world, he said, for without me, not long will it survive. The world lost its soul that day, turned bare and barren. A man-made machine churning robots that like clockwork would sleep and awaken. And yet, someday, I still go to the mountainside, hoping to see him once more. Perhaps he will be reborn if we learn to treasure him like we did before.